Under Khafra's pyramid, 8 spiral shafts descend 648 meters, connecting underground chambers deeper than a 25-story building. These ancient tunnels are so intricate they rival major subway systems. The structure we've admired for centuries is just the visible part of something much bigger. What comes next could rewrite 4,500 years of history and shake everything archaeology thought was certain. On March 15, 2025, a research team led by Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa, Filippo Bionde from the University of Strathclyde, and Armando Mi made an announcement that stunned the scientific community. More details will be released soon, but in the meantime, it's worth recalling the journey these researchers took to reach this new understanding. Many people are familiar with radar technology, which sends signals and analyzes their return. But there's also synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, which operates from space using electromagnetic waves emitted by satellites. Developed around the 1950s, SR became significant in fields ranging from military operations to analyzing deforested areas and monitoring bridges and dams. Now it appears that SAR has also helped uncover something astonishing beneath the sands of Egypt. In many parts of the world, vast forests make it tough for archaeologists to find ancient ruins. With SR, which sends waves and checks how they bounce back, the game has changed. Areas like the Maya lowlands between southern Mexico and northern Guatemala, and the region around Angkor Wat in Cambodia, once seen as impenetrable, now reveal monuments and structures we couldn't reach before. Recently, a team took things even further by developing technology that detects not just physical shapes, but also nearly invisible vibrations. With this breakthrough, signals that used to go unnoticed can now be spotted, giving us valuable clues about lost civilizations. It's an innovation set to transform archaeology and the way we understand our past. Even though we don't realize it, everything around us vibrates to some extent. Satellites can pick up these subtle movements on the surface of structures like Egypt's pyramids. By analyzing how waves travel through different parts of buildings, researchers can map interiors and even underground areas. It's similar to an ultrasound, but done straight from space, opening a new window into discovering hidden details about ancient cultures. They call this new tool synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography. In 2022, the research team behind it decided to test it on the Great Pyramid of Khufu. The results were so accurate that they confirmed passages and chambers already known, validating the method before they took on any new explorations. After this confirmation, the team moved forward and identified unknown areas inside Khufu's pyramid, something no one expected. Excited by this success, the scientists took the same method to the Pyramid of Khafra, the second largest on the Giza plateau. They believe this technology can uncover more hidden spaces, finally shedding light on how these massive structures were built and bringing science closer to solving some of ancient Egypt's greatest mysteries. Around Khafra's pyramid, 5 identical structures appeared on the scans. Each has 5 horizontal levels, sloping roofs, and straight passages connecting them. Nothing about this seems accidental. Everything suggests meticulous planning, similar to the Z-shaped pattern found in Khufu's pyramid. And as researchers keep digging deeper, more fascinating details keep coming to light. Under the surface of Giza, mapping studies have uncovered 8 cylindrical structures resembling vertical shafts. Each shaft is surrounded by a spiral formation that descends deep underground, arranged in 2 parallel rows running north to south. Analysis shows these shafts reach depths of about 648 meters, deeper than modern landmarks like the Empire State Building or the Eiffel Tower are tall. Rather than going upward, these ancient structures extend downward nearly twice the height of the famous Parisian Tower, built thousands of years ago. At the bottom of these shafts, there are 2 cube-shaped structures measuring roughly 80 meters per side, comparable to a 25-story building. However, this might just be part of something even larger. SR scans suggest there's likely an underground complex extending as far as 2 kilometers beneath the Giza plateau. If confirmed, our understanding of ancient Egyptian engineering could change dramatically, as what we see on the surface of Giza may be just the entrance to something much bigger. What could be the real purpose behind these monumental structures? The most common explanation is that the pyramids served as tombs for pharaohs, ensuring their journey to the afterlife. But if there truly is an extensive underground network connected to them, we might be looking at something far more complex than just a funeral monument. After all, who would invest so much time and effort building a huge underground complex more than half a kilometer beneath the ground, just to store human remains? If recent discoveries are confirmed, the traditional idea that these constructions were exclusively intended for burial purposes might start to lose credibility. Researchers supporting unconventional theories suggest the pyramids may have functioned as advanced machines, using water and acoustic phenomena for a purpose we don't yet fully understand. One example is the structure associated with Khafra, which has been compared to nuclear reactor cores, where water acts as a coolant, or offshore oil platforms, featuring cylindrical pillars submerged to handle tidal movements. These similarities support the idea that ancient civilizations may have possessed technology far beyond what we usually imagine, keeping the true meaning of these structures wrapped in mystery. Around the Giza plateau, deep shafts with spiral passages have intrigued experts and curious minds for generations. These underground corridors might have been part of a system designed to capture or control groundwater. The area is close to the Nile River, whose course was once wider and has changed significantly over time. This raises questions about the real purpose behind these excavations. Were they built for sacred rituals, or did they have a more practical role in daily life in ancient Egypt? Researchers argue that water was an essential element in Egyptian construction projects. Evidence of water erosion in passages and chambers of various pyramids supports this theory. Even the Great Sphinx shows signs of wear that have puzzled geologists for decades. Ancient texts mention funeral processions involving boats that approach the base of the pyramids, something hard to picture today since the river is now far from these structures. But geological clues indicate that the Nile once flowed much closer, reinforcing the idea that access to water was easier back then. These hints support theories about the role of the spiral shafts. They could have served as ritual centers linked to water or practical solutions to store and channel it, especially when groundwater levels were higher. This possibility suggests that, beyond all the symbolism, there was sophisticated technical knowledge behind every carved stone. And it's exactly this mix of mystery, purpose, and engineering that keeps people fascinated with ancient Egypt. When people talk about ancient Egypt, pyramids immediately come to mind as examples of amazing structures. But there's evidence suggesting these monuments weren't just tombs. They might have served much more complex purposes. Some researchers believe the Egyptians had advanced engineering knowledge, using ground vibrations, acoustic resonance, or even electromagnetic energy. It's interesting how geometrically precise these structures are, and how they were placed at strategic points, supporting the idea that they had a purpose beyond burying pharaohs. Although this theory was met with skepticism for a long time, recent discoveries hint that there might be something even more intriguing behind it. Another question is how old these structures really are. While traditional dating places the pyramids around 2500 BC, that timeline mostly comes from cultural interpretations and hieroglyphs. Looking closely at the architecture itself raises the possibility that the pyramids might be much older than previously thought, holding secrets about an even more distant past. Some researchers argue that the famous Sphinx, located next to Khafra's pyramid, might be a lot older than most people think. The type of erosion seen on its surface suggests it was carved during a time of heavy rainfall, a climate event experts say occurred between 10,000 and 12,000 years ago. This evidence challenges the idea that it was built only during Egypt's dynastic period, sparking plenty of debate about the origins of this mysterious statue. Another interesting point is the spiral shafts under Khafra's pyramid, which reach a depth of 648 meters, extending to a layer below today's water level. This indicates they might have been constructed when sea levels were significantly lower. probably near the end of the last ice age, around 11,700 years ago. Linking these findings to stories about Atlantis and the Richat structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, makes things even more fascinating. According to Plato, the disaster that destroyed Atlantis happened around 9600 BC, a time when massive floods reshaped coastlines worldwide. The Richat structure, located in Mauritania, features concentric rings that closely resemble Plato's description. It's only about 560 kilometers from Africa's northwest coast, further intensifying interest in this geographic coincidence. Each of these details creates a web of mysteries that continues to intrigue historians, archaeologists, and curious minds alike, fueling debates about possible connections between major civilizations of the past. A set of clues suggests that a mysterious group of people, older than the first pharaohs, might have brought impressive knowledge to the Nile Valley. Evidence found beneath Khafra's pyramid points to possible underground structures, indicating advanced expertise in hydraulics and astronomy that surprises even the most experienced researchers. Every new discovery sparks heated debates, as these structures seem to challenge timelines long accepted by the academic community. Some question whether scanning technologies can truly be trusted at great depths, while others admit that the clues hint at a more complicated history than previously thought. Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities is staying cautious for now, waiting for further confirmations before taking a position. Their caution is understandable, but many hope the research moves forward without delay. If this theory turns out to be true, we'll have to rethink part of what we've assumed about Egypt's origins. And maybe it's time to reconsider who really built some of history's most remarkable monuments. There's a new type of analysis called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, done by a private satellite, that doesn't require any digging and doesn't cause any harm to the terrain. Even if local authorities tried to block it, they couldn't stop this procedure because it's totally non-invasive. The team leading this research, known as the Khafra Project, decided to publish their findings directly, skipping the traditional review process. This way, anyone can access the data, discuss potential outcomes, and point out any flaws. They've also shared the exact coordinates of the structures they found, encouraging other teams to use methods like muon detection and seismic imaging to verify the discoveries. These additional techniques are environmentally safe but require permission from local authorities, who carefully protect the region's historical heritage. Despite this hurdle, the researchers believe the evidence they've gathered is strong enough to justify a formal request and further investigation. These discoveries might turn everything we know about our history upside down. There's evidence that around 4,500 years ago, huge engineering projects were already being carried out with a level of skill that's still surprising today. Some researchers even believe these constructions might be older than previously thought, coming from a time when, according to mainstream views, humanity was still living in a pretty basic stage. This raises fascinating questions. How many other impressive achievements could still be hidden beneath the ground we walk on every day? And how might new archaeological clues reshape everything we assumed was true about our past? The pyramids, in particular, continue to spark curiosity. Even after centuries of research, we still don't have definitive answers to all the mysteries surrounding them. Some recent theories are waiting to be proven or disproven, but the fact is the research keeps going, highlighting just how much is left to uncover. Science moves forward precisely by challenging itself, rigorously testing each hypothesis to either confirm or debunk it. What future investigations might reveal is still a mystery, and that's exactly what makes this journey so exciting. The search for answers about the pyramids keeps moving forward, driven by new ways of analyzing and interpreting them. Each new piece of information offers a different perspective on what once seemed certain. It's fascinating to realize these structures are more than just impressive monuments. They encourage us to think about how our knowledge is always changing. With each new discovery or revision, we see that our understanding of the past isn't fixed in stone. Every step forward reminds us how much there still is to investigate and understand. At the same time, our fascination grows for these constructions that have stood for centuries, offering hints about types of organization and knowledge that continue to amaze us. And even without having all the answers, it's clear these ancient works have a powerful hold on our curiosity. They raise questions about history we thought we knew, and suggest there's still so much left to uncover. Ultimately, the pyramids remain symbols of our endless ability to learn and rethink, challenging us to keep exploring who we are and where we come from.